Well, good morning.
Morning, Andy.
How you doing? Hey, do you know what? I was excited to come to Bristol
Yeah, come on.
because you've got 5G. I've never seen it on my phone. Down in deepest, darkest
Cheers.
Devon, there's nothing like that. I hit Bristol
Yeah.
and 5G. You know, that's good, but it's great to be with you today. You know, Rachel sadly can't be with us, as Phil's just said, and she does send her love. Do appreciate your prayers for our daughter Hannah. She's going through a pretty tough time for a 23-year-old. But you know, we have the incredible privilege of running an organization called World of Worth. And we work predominantly with women and girls. And what we want to do is demonstrate and teach to them that they're of worth in God's eyes. You know, so often in society, in the countries that we work, and that's India, Africa, Philippines, and Bulgaria, the women are treated as second-rate citizens. Beaten, they're abused, and often when their husbands die, they lose absolutely everything. And we want to come close to them. We want to support them. We want to empower these women. But most of all, we want to tell them that God loves them, that he died for them. And whatever we do through the programs that we run, whether it's through education, whether it's through food parcels, whether it's through supporting their child, we want them to be able to provide for themselves and give them a hand up, not a handout. You know, every woman that we work with, and we've done this survey with them, actually none of them want a handout. They want empowering so they can help themselves. You know, historically, some of you may have not have heard of World of Worth. My parents started what was World Christian Ministries 43 years ago, when Phil was a boy. That's a long time ago, isn't it? But you know, actually, people say, well, why do you focus on women and girls? We focus on women and girls. You know, there's some statistics from the UN. Gender inequality is a major cause and effect of hunger and poverty. And it is estimated that 60% of the chronically hungry people are women and girls. Women make up more than 2/3 of the world's 796 million illiterate people. Women, this one, you've all done it this morning. You've all got up, you've gone and pulled, you've gone and cleaned your teeth, you've gone downstairs, you filled your kettle with water very, very easily. Well, you need to know and need to understand that women in sub-Saharan Africa collectively spend 40 billion hours a year collecting water. You know, some of the women that we work with have to walk 3 to 5 kilometers to fill their bucket, to put it on their head, to walk back so they've got enough water for the day. What we've done in some of the projects is we've given them a bore well. We've given them income generation. And what they do is they generate income by selling the water to those around them. But actually what that does, it becomes a hub where they come and they hear about Jesus. Something so simple that every family needs. I'm going to show you a clip of media. This will be the first media clip. There's a few for the day. So sometimes actions speak louder than words. So all these media clips that I show, they're all filmed by me. It's just me and Rachel. There's not a massive team of us. So what you see is something personal to me and Rachel. If we could show the first media clip, that'd be great, guys. to see how women's lives are transformed. You know, we all know the story of the widow's mite, and you might think, actually, I don't know what I can do. Will it make a difference? The little that you give makes a huge difference. You know, on that picture, you saw a lady with a grater, and she was great, and that's Mama Julia. Mama Julia, I met her, and I was watching what she was doing. I go, what is she doing? And she's got a piece of tin roof that she's made a grater out of. And what she was doing, she was using that to grate the cassava, to bake cakes, so she could sell those cakes to pay for her grandchildren to go to school. I stood and you know, sometimes I love to ask the obvious question. I said to the guys in Uganda, I said, do you not do graters? He looked at me as if like I was like, what? I said, of course we do. I said, well, why hasn't she got a grater? And you know what? I dropped everything. We went off and I caused absolute chaos for their schedule, which is great fun. You know, we went off into town and I bought 5 graters and we took one to Mama Julia. It cost me £3. And I gave the grater to Mama Julia, and the words that came from her mouth were, thank you so much. You have changed my world, for a £3 grater. What you give makes a difference. We talk about stories of transformation. And in Uganda, we've got a cluster of 60 women that we're working with in different parts of around a town called Arua, which is on the Congo-Sudan border. And I'm going to show you a clip about Josephine. Josephine is an incredible, inspirational lady. We do something called micro business. And you might think, what is that? Okay, what we do, we lend them a small amount of money. They borrow it. They come on a weekly basis. They're taught biblical principles. They hear the gospel every single week. These women's lives are being completely transformed by what we're doing. And actually, to start these women up in project, you might think, setting up a business, that's going to be so expensive. £30 sets a women up in a business. You can see the story of transformation from Josephine. So I'm stood in Arua in Uganda, and I'm actually at one of the Cluster B meetings. And this lady, Josephine, has been part of the, look, there you go. She has been part of the cluster for a number of years now. And we're just about to get Harrison to come over and give you her story and her background. So it was good, really encouraging story.
Yes, hello, everyone. I am Harrison, the project director of Wow Uganda. Next to me is Josephine. We're just going to get onto an interview with her. So I hope you enjoy the life-transforming testimony from Josephine. Yes, here we go, please. This is Josephine. Josephine, the floor is yours.
Awarifo wawudri ma anzisu makupita kanga wisin.
Josephine says, thank you so much to Wow. She has 4 children. She lost her husband some time back, so she is a widow for now.
Eyodi ni tsara mavugo mesanda tsandi site wawima zako enzema tsandi malia.
When she lost her husband, her heart was so much troubled and she was heartbroken, but Wow came in to give her support and lift her from the really troublesome life that she was going through.
Antini fire school obo femans lingo potoro melody school fees, melody business and melody school fees of yan.
At the time when she came into Wow, she came and got the VSLA was just being established, and she was able to borrow 100,000 from the capital fund, and she started doing business with it, and it grew up. She started now paying school fees for the children out of the profits of the VSLA.
Butina amadinya nyeitiala azetivini mumri amadisa sindro yekwa amadia zabe tersa seti manyedira.
Now, out of the profits she gets from the VSLA, she has been able to buy a she-goat, and she's able to feed her family out of it, and the she-goat has been able to multiply.
Awarifo wa udri teresa wa mapa madia nzaibe kuda male fili sasa nzaibe free ena kile timitile deyo.
So now, with the support she gets from WOW, she's able to look after her children, provide for them as if their father is still alive, and yet the father is not there, but it's the support from WOW that gives her the opportunity to take care of the family.
Awarifo wa udri.
So she thanks WOW so much for all that support.
Josephine, we talk about, you heard the figure of 100,000. It's a lot of money. It's 22 pounds. That's what she borrowed. When we get our regular support in, what we do is want to invest into these women's lives to see them transformed. Some of these women's lives, and I'll talk about this a little bit more when I'm speaking in a few moments, but actually they've had to persevere through some horrendous circumstances and situations. And whatever we do, whether we feed, clothe, educate, put them on micro business, what we want them to know is that God loves them, that they're women of worth in God's eyes. For us, for me and Rachel, it's personal. We're not, as I've said, we're not a massive organization. The women that we work with, we know. I know Josephine's story, and what we didn't catch on there is before she joined the WOW project, she was on the verge of taking her own life because everything around her had fallen apart. But actually, when she was walking, she overheard the cluster meeting that was going on. She overheard the women singing and just wandered in just to see what it was about. When we talk about transformation, Josephine is a great example. So I'd encourage you at the end of the service, come ask some questions, see if you can help and support. You might, like I say, the widow's mite. It might seem so small and insignificant, but it's the attitude in which you sow that seed that will give a great harvest. Bless you. Thanks, Phil.